This one will be a little bit controversial, but we try to be objective, right? A little bit more juicy. So we have general elections coming up on the 14th of October, right? That's in 3 weeks. Yeah. So what I was thinking that might be interesting for people is if we compare the policies of the two big parties regarding property in real estate. So what Labour is offering and what National is proposing. Hey everybody.
Hey everybody.
Welcome to another episode of Property Jabs with Vess and Wayne. And actually this one is number 25, Wayne, especially for
25, a quarter.
Do you remember how we finished the last episode?
Yep. Well, I don't know if it was the end of it, but we asked about, will you know the presidents? Was that it?
Yes, who is the 25th?
Who was the 25th president of the States?
Yeah, and we're gonna start with that. So,
Oh, sweet.
the gentleman's name is William McKinley, and he was the president of the United States from 1897 to 1901. Republican.
That's pretty cool, eh? 1897.
Yeah,
1897.
for one term only, right?
1897.
97. So it's
So
like
1901.
120 something years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Because we started with politics, probably just let's keep that going.
Okay, this is dangerous.
Yeah, this one will be a little bit controversial, but we try to be objective, right? A little bit more juicy. So we have general elections coming up on the 14th of October, right? That's in 3 weeks.
Yep.
Yeah. So what I was thinking that might be interesting for people is if we compare the policies of the two big parties regarding property in real estate. So what Labour is offering and what National is proposing, right? So I'm just gonna go and read like a point by point, and we just gonna have a little bit of commentary, see from our perspective, from the professional side of real estate, how do we think this will affect the property market?
Yeah, cool.
Right.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, cool. So
Shall we
let's start with Labour, right? I'm not sure. Did you watch the debate the other night
On TV?
on TV? Yeah.
I don't even have a TV channel.
You can watch it online.
Yeah, I'd have to watch it online, but I've seen the snippets in the Herald Online.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So the first thing Labour proposes is actually this is what they proposed also in the past few years. Build more affordable housing, including 100,000 new public houses over 10 years. So that's like 10,000 public houses every year.
How well do they go on that?
So that's the thing, right? On paper, it looks great, right? Building more new houses, affordable, and this will somehow affect the supply and demand. Probably the prices will come a little bit back. The market will be balanced.
Yep.
The main concern here is that they had a program that is called Kiwi Build, that they actually didn't deliver almost anything on that program. So the main concern is, are they in a position to deliver? Have they proven in the past that they can deliver?
They've proven they can't. They can't. They're dreaming.
Yeah, but on paper
and they're
sounds good.
ridiculous. In theory, it sounds good.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And if you're not a practical person, a Labour politician, then that's sort of where it starts and stops.
Yes.
Yep. But in theory, good. And look, to be honest, is we're gonna. I have no doubt one of the national ones is going to come up, and in theory, it is brilliant.
Yes.
But in practice, will it work? Who knows? Will it even happen?
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. So no,
in theory,
they can't. Yep.
In theory, it's good.
Yep.
Right. Okay. Second one, introduce rent controls to limit rent increases to 3% per year. So again, that's more interference, more government interference in the property market. So overall, again, not bad in theory, right? Because we're getting a lot more people renting out because they cannot afford to buy a home. So this will give them a little bit more confidence that the rents won't jump more than 3% a year. So
yeah, but it's inherently and look, I don't follow all their policies.
Yes.
You know, so you're probably educating me as we go. Inherently, you would say based on that, the government will dictate better than the market will, and I'd say, mate, let the market do it. Challenge off the back of that. If you dictate, what the government does is it relies on private landlords to provide the stock for people to rent, because the government can't produce it. And then what they do is they cane the landlord. They treat them as if they're ripping everybody off. And they say, I'll cap what you're able to do. So then the private landlord goes, with the way all the laws are facing, it's just too hard. You do it yourself. And then what happens? I'll tell you what happens. Remember when we had our Maguire's conference in Rotorua and we ducked down? What happens in Rotorua now, and they're fighting hard against it, is motels are now full of people that can't rent a home because the private landlord went, mate, I'm out of this business, it's just too hard. Interference,
right? But this is what we're going to see. That's the silver lining between Labour and National, and we're going to have a discussion after that. Okay, ban foreign investor buyers from purchasing existing residential property in New Zealand, right? I think this is depending on the perspective, right? If you're looking to buy in the first home buyer, probably that sounds good because it means that property prices won't go up. You're not going to compete with foreigners, not New Zealanders. And somehow we have something that it's currently in place that it's similar to that, besides the Singaporeans and the Aussies. So how do you think this, if it happens, how this will affect the market? But let's say it happens, right? Not that if or it happens tomorrow.
Well, they've already sort of taken that segment out of the market, and there was always argument about how big was the proportion of foreign buyers. Like, I'll just tell it down the middle. If you're a foreign buyer and you want to buy it, you just get your mate in New Zealand to put it on their name. So, geez, it's not very smart. And look, I'm completely against it, and I'll tell you why. And I appreciate the dynamics of supply and demand. And demand pushes price up, whereas previously they're trying to supply, and supply pushes price down. Your 25th president, and exactly that time frame, my family immigrated from the Middle East to New Zealand. 130 odd years ago. So what right have I got to be here, but now we just close the doors and say nobody else is allowed in? You're probably the same. So when do you close the doors and say enough's enough? This is, we've run out of land in New Zealand and blah blah blah. It's just nuts to me. This is a beautiful country. More people should be able to live here. They should be encouraged. They should come with their skills and their enthusiasm, and they should enjoy New Zealand. And they should be able to buy a home and live in a home. They'll work hard, probably work harder than some of the Kiwis. Oh look, we're going past some billboards now for the election. This is going to get us in so much trouble. You think this is a good idea?
Yeah, but if we try to be on the objective side of things, I don't think it's gonna do that. It's really hard. It's really hard to be objective, but I remember when they first introduced that foreign investor ban, as they call it, in 2018, I think was, and I was, coming from Eastern Europe, right? We were a little bit flexible. Let's say we always will find a way how to make it work. And I was thinking, what about companies? What about lawyers? What about friends? What about family? What about all these? If you want to do it, you will find a way to do it. I'm sure that there is a unofficial service somewhere sitting that they can offer that to, if you want to park some money. And the issue with that is money laundering, right? Nothing else. So we just need to figure out to not to finance any terrorism. Okay, next one. Tighten capital gain tax on investment properties. And I was a little bit confused because I heard Chris Hipkins the other night saying that there will be no capital gain tax, but there is still something in their policies that are talking about capital gain tax.
There's housing stock, so landlords provide housing stock. It is on one side of the coin, it is providing something socially that New Zealand needs. It fulfills that need. Second side of the coin, balance. The other side of the coin is there's a commercial aspect to it. You know, it's an investment, it's a business. So it's just nuts to have inconsistency with the way you treat businesses.
Yeah.
It's got to be the same. Otherwise, people leave one sector and put their money in something else, and that would just make the current rental supply worse.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because you're going to have less options, which means the rents will go up.
Yeah, and somebody would go, it's so hard dealing with the tenants, so hard dealing with tenancy tribunal.
Yeah.
Those guys are nuts. And the tax disadvantage, I will do a different business. Yeah. You'd gravitate and move your money across.
And it will be interesting
So
because
there's your labour science.
yes, it will be interesting because if that happens and you're going to have less landlords will increase their rents to, somehow balance that capital gains or any other taxes. But then you have a cap of 3% a year. So it's going to be unbearable. I mean, it wouldn't make any business unattractive sense. And then you're going to have more increase of because there will be not enough supply, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Reform the Overseas Investment Act to make it more difficult for foreign investors to buy land. So this is specific only for land, not housing, land. So again, another restriction on the market. That's probably similar to what we discussed already.
Yeah, it is interesting though, because we have so much land.
Yeah.
We have so much land, like it's a big green country. And what we don't have is money. So
Yes.
if we had some money come in,
Yeah.
and they had some of the grass given to
Yeah.
them, literally, it would work. Now, here's the balance on it. Years ago, I watched something in one of the islands, and they were, there was a plan. You'd be able to buy a villa, a bure, on the bay, on the beach, but it would be leasehold. And leasehold over here, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years or something.
Yeah.
But over there, it would be something like a 150-year lease. So literally, you don't have to worry. It's there for 3 generations.
Yeah.
And I thought, okay, well, that's attractive. And then what I also liked about that was that the country or the people of that island still retained ownership of their land.
Yeah.
Because it's such a small area.
Yes.
Why would they sell off pockets and then they haven't got any of that island? But in New Zealand, I think it's different. We've got a lot of space.
Yeah.
So I don't know if constricting that and manipulating that is such a good idea, but I do like the way they did it in the island.
Yeah. And again, just to clarify, leasehold, you don't own the land. You actually pay ground rent to use the land. Right. This is a little bit
good point.
If someone doesn't know what it is. Let's go to let's summarize quickly. So with labor, it's putting restrictions, a lot of restrictions on the market. This is their plan, how they wanna move ahead with the property market.
Restrictions and controls.
Restrictions and control and more government.
They'll say to the market, we know better than you, do it this way.
Yeah, and more government involvement.
Yep.
National. That's the other side, making things free and easy. At least this is how it sounds. Increase the supply of land for housing by loosening zoning regulations and releasing more government-owned land. So this is make more land available, make it easier for people to purchase, to develop, and release some of the government-owned land that no one is using and sitting somewhere. And this will probably create more new dwellings, right? New properties. So this will long term, it's going to be a long term, right? It won't be short term, will create more supply on the market.
Yeah. Pretty hard to argue against. I can't see what I'm going to bat against that one on.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Let's go to the next one. Provide tax breaks for investors who build new rental properties, restoring interest deductibility, taking the bright line test back to 2 years. So instead of taxing more, providing tax breaks, restoring interest deductibility. Just to elaborate a little bit, a few years ago, the government decided not to allow property investors to claim the interest rate as an expense, right? And the national is saying not that they can.
And key point on that would be you can do it in any other business.
Yes.
You know, so, and then on one hand they're saying, I'll tax you, it's a business, I'll tax you, and you're doing well out of it, but I won't treat you like a normal business, will disadvantage you.
Yeah.
And again, inconsistent.
Yeah.
Just nuts.
And the last thing is that taking the bright line test back to 2 years. Currently it's 10 years, so it means that if you buy a property as an investment and if you sell it sooner than the 10 years, you have to pay capital gain tax.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah. If you make a profit on it, of course, you pay the capital gain tax on the profit of the property. It will be a lot more attractive for property investors if that capital gain tax is 2 years. So this will eliminate speculators that just buy and try to flip quickly.
Yep.
Right?
Yep. I like that.
Yeah. So again, opening up, loosening up, less restrictions. The next one, reduce compliance costs for developers and builders to make it easier and cheaper to build new homes. Again, loosening up, making it easier, making it cheaper for builders and developers to build new homes. So again, it's just national thinking that opening up the market and making it easier for people to build will create more dwellings and somehow probably balance the market instead of putting restrictions on the market.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it encourages everybody, not only the developer to do it, but more so the individual that goes, I want to buy a bit of land and get a house built on it. Because they know today if they do that, whatever they're quoted as the build cost will blow out. You know, and that there's just a crazy amount of extra costs sitting in there and delays. Delays. Now, if you're a developer, the delay will kill you.
Yeah, because that's money, that's interest rate, right?
Yeah.
Especially when you're talking about 7% is the mortgage, the construction loans are more expensive than that. Okay, reform Kainga Ora, the government housing agency, to make it more efficient and effective. 100% yes. Because when you give government unlimited money, they're gonna spend them like there is no tomorrow. And I don't think anyone will argue that Kainga, they do also a lot of good work. They just need to make sure that they're more efficient with their spending.
Like that drive me crazy. Can you imagine how they have meetings and they have the time? Like I'd finish a meeting before they'd even started it. They'd have to have a little, little powwow. Oh, I couldn't have a bar of it. So inefficiency, great inefficiency. Yeah. And it is just the difference between the two parties, really. One saying, hey, the government knows better, we'll take control. And the other one is saying free market should be able to look after itself within some bounds. Okay. Yeah, so government knows better. The other one saying that people who are entrepreneurial, they know how to run business. They definitely know much better than the government, but because they're profit driven, let's put some restrictions so it doesn't go completely out of control. I like that. Okay, these are the two main parties that are competing, and I mean the polls are showing that they will be the top two. I have also put something about ACT and the Green Party, but I think they're very similar to the big brothers, the big sister. Any closing words? Anything? Quick fire. Okay. Quick fire. Yeah. Best dressed politician, without a doubt. New Zealand. Yeah. I would say I like Winston Peters. Spot on. 100%. Like there's no one. I was watching last night the debate of the smaller parties. And it was just like, okay, you had David Seymour, you had Marama Davis, and you had Debbie, I don't know what's her name, the Maori Party, and then you have Winston Peters. I mean, you can see pocket square and tie the same. He's
old school, but I like that type of old school. You know,
Yeah.
respectfully old school, right?
He's like the Godfather, isn't it? Yeah, the pinstripe suit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if you agree with his, you know, politics and, you know, but yeah, best dressed. Next.
This is two. Okay. Which politician has got the polar opposite hairdo to me?
Christopher Luxon.
We'll never get confused, will we?
Yeah.
Which politician looks like a deer in the headlights right now, knowing that there's someone out there with a rifle?
Chris Hipkins.
Yes.
I'm sometimes I'm shocked by the audacity of sitting, you know, in front of so many people, and the stuff that comes out of his mouth is just like, oh my gosh, just we're not stupid, right? We're not stupid, you know. We know the politicians lie and just like sugarcoat everything, but just we're not stupid. Just be a little bit more respectful to people.
Yeah, have common sense, eh? Now, there was, and we'll get out of here, there was, somebody gave their farewell speech at at Parliament. This was years and years ago.
Yeah.
And they were on the opposite side to Winston Peters. I'm pretty sure I got this right. And they're sort of taking the borax out of everybody.
Yeah.
And he went, yeah, and Winston Peters, obviously, he's been delayed. He's not here. Maybe he saw a full-length mirror. I thought that was brilliant. That was years ago. Okay, well done. Some characters there.
Yeah.
And policies that are just so different, eh?
Some characters and a lot of people without a character, unfortunately, but that's politics for you, right? Not much spine, and a lot of fake promises. Nothing will, and
In theory.
in theory, and again, just remember, my perspective is very different than the average Kiwi. Someone coming from an ex-communist country. Right, I'm used to be lied on, and I'm used to be people try to brainwash you and put you in the corner, limit you, restrict you, not give you freedom. So my perspective is sometimes could be a little bit extreme, let's put it that way. But I can see and smell stuff probably 2 years before it happens. Let's put it that way.
There we go.
Go.
Good points. Good points.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. Any questions, let us know. Again, don't forget that you can listen to us on Apple Podcast and Spotify. And just don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you.
And we'll see you on number 26.
26.
Ciao.
Bye-bye.